Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
How about those football contests from this weekend?
I hear Taylor Swift's boyfriend won a game.
He won a game. Yeah. So
and they kissed. And there's pictures of that everywhere. On the field.
I'm all for her. She's more interesting than the football as far as I'm concerned. I don't know a thing about her. I know we talked about... Didn't we talk about her last week?
We have.
Or was it in person?
We probably did.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah. You know, more power to her. I don't know.
So, yeah. So the Chiefs and the Bucks and the Hawks and the Knicks or somebody.
Whatever.
Sports
Chiefs
ball.
And somebody.
I know I got invited
Sports
to a Super Bowl party yesterday, so, you know, at least I have somewhere to go.
Super Bowl's not for another 2 weeks.
Well, my neighbor invited me over for the game.
No, that's what
so now I know I got chicken wings in my future. And
Super Bowl wasn't yesterday. Do you have to watch the game?
Well, nobody's going to force me to stare at the TV.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, hopefully your team, well, except for Jim Bush and Adam Savage, friends of the show, we don't know anyone else in those cities, right?
Right.
Pretty much, no.
Kansas City and San Francisco. Well, you know a ton of people in San Francisco area. And knowing what type of people they are, they don't give a shit.
None of them are going to be watching the game.
Yeah, exactly. But, so today we're going to cover a movie thing and a TV thing. We're going to cover The Marvels. I know it was in theaters a long time ago.
We'll give you a good spoiler buffer here, people.
Yeah, we're widening our spoiler buffer, but
for some
me
things.
and Barry did not see it.
No, we finally caught up with Brie Larson and the gang, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah. But we paid for it, so I happily paid my $20
Me too.
to see it.
Me too. I didn't wait to watch
Even though
it
I think it comes out next week.
I know,
on
but
Disney Plus.
You guys said you wanted to talk about it, so I bought it.
No, I'm happy to have paid my $20. I would have seen it.
I would have spent more than that
to
to go to see it in the movies with my wife or with the kids, so it's fine. I have no problem paying for it. I just,
No, me too. And then we're going to talk about Masters of Air, another Apple series. There's a lot of Apple series that we're watching. So we'll talk about that. Let's do some random. Todd, what do you got?
Okay, so just when you're convinced nothing good came out of the writer and actors strike, they're back in production on Daredevil, and they have added Karen Page, Foggy Nelson, and Bullseye to the mix, who they had previously said were not involved. There's pictures out of them on set filming. So they're
was Bullseye
getting the band back together, which also technically makes the Bullseye thing like a 7-year cliffhanger. So
who was Bullseye?
Bullseye was the guy that he fought in the Daredevil costume at the end. And the last shot of him was the close-up, and you saw the little bullseye in his eye because he would become, he was the guy that was going to be Bullseye.
Oh, but who played? Do anyone? Someone we know
I don't remember
played
the
him?
actor, but it was. But we didn't, like I said, they never made a 4th season, and so they're following up with that. So.
Is that the scene where the guy flicks the peanut and it goes down the old lady's throat and kills her? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. That would be Bullseye. So,
who's that? Who's that actor?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Irish guy from the
you're
great.
talking, I'm not going for the bait. I'm really not going. I don't acknowledge that movie exists. I am happy with that not being part of my.
There's
reality.
worse movies. Let's go down that road. There's worse movies than that one. Great soundtrack.
All right, I know I'm opening myself up by even asking this question, but. Being objective, what's worse in your eyes, Willow or that Daredevil movie?
In my opinion,
yeah.
In a superhero movie?
No. I'm saying is that version of Daredevil worse than Willow as a movie?
Oh, talking to me or him?
Either, both of you. This is an open question.
I think it's way better than Willow.
You're saying I have to sit through one of them again?
Yes,
I would sit through Willow.
Oof,
I would.
There's no way it's better than Willow.
Jennifer
I'm
Garner
not saying it's
in
better
that
than
movie.
Willow. I just never want to be subjected to that film again.
I'm talking. It's better than some Marvel movies. It's better than the first Hulk. it's better than the last. I would watch that before I'd watch the last Thor again.
No.
I'm trying to look who played it, and it's somebody we know. The guy who played. What the hell is?
Are
his
you talking
name?
about the movie? Or are you talking about the guy in the TV series?
The movie? No, the movie.
It was Colin. What's his name?
Colin
Farrell.
Farrell. Yes.
Yeah. John Favreau was Foggy Nelson. He was good in that.
No, he wasn't. John Favreau was Happy Hogan. You're confused. So
No. Great soundtrack, though. I still listen to that soundtrack. But anyway, I
soundtracks
digress.
don't save movies. Sorry.
Nope, they do not.
Okay. Barry, what do you got?
I have a weird story, but so there's a 76-year-old guy named Terry John Martin. In 2005, he stole ruby slippers from the Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Allegedly.
No. He stole them.
Oh, okay.
He's on his deathbed, and he admitted it because he didn't want to die. He didn't want to go to his grave. And they're not. I mean, he's dying, so they're not charging him. They're kind of letting it go. But I just thought it was interesting. He claims that he had no idea of the cultural significance. He thought they were legitimately. He's never seen the movie. And he thought that they were these slippers that were encrusted in actual rubies. And when he found out that they weren't and that he deemed them to be worthless, he gave them away. So he stole them, but he didn't keep them. And the FBI tracked them down in 2017. So they recovered the slippers, but they still didn't know who stole them. And this guy has now officially come forward and said that he did it.
There's a book about that, I think.
Yeah, and he's dying, so they're basically letting him go. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that they recovered the slippers, and there was a $200,000 reward. But now they're saying that the slippers are probably market value is like $3.5 million of these.
Oh,
things.
easily. They're probably worth more than that they would be if they were covered in rubies.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait a minute. There are other ruby slippers, though, right?
There's a couple.
There were
pairs,
multiple
yeah.
pairs, yes.
Because the Smithsonian.
There's one in the
has it.
Smithsonian has one.
Yeah, but these were in the Judy Garland Museum in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
I can only imagine what the security was like.
Well, yeah, it must not have been very good.
Back in the
Garland
days, no
Museum
one
in Grand Rapids,
thought
Michigan.
anything of it.
Especially
Yeah.
not in 2005. I mean, now that there might have been better security, but I don't know. Not much of a story, but I just thought it was interesting that they cracked the case because the guy admitted it on his deathbed.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. What do you got there?
Crazy. Okay. This just in. Millie Alcock, who was in House of Dragon, is going to be Supergirl.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. She's got a weird look to her. Not weird. Different.
She looks ethnically Kryptonian.
But the thing with her, it's funny. You watch House of Dragon, and she's like, oh, she's a little girl. And then it's like, oh, she's a grown woman. She really had some age changes in that.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of her now. I can see her being Kryptonian.
Yeah. Oh, I totally could.
No, I think she's very cute, and I thought she was good in that show. I was sorry to see her character age to a different actress in the show. I thought she was really good in it.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Superman's very young, so
and
is
the other thing too is
Supergirl?
she can act too. I mean,
yeah.
So
I think she was good in that. Yeah. So in theory, is Supergirl supposed to be older than Superman?
Okay. Here's how this works. Okay. She was 16-ish, okay, when Krypton was destroyed.
Oh, but she came
But
later.
she was in essentially suspended animation and arrived later than Kal-El did. So, like 30 years later than Kal-El did. So Kal-El has now grown up to an adult, and she's a teen, even though she's like 46 in actual years. So that was the thing.
And he's supposed to be pretty young in this, so she's going to play probably a teenage.
Right.
She's not in her teens, I don't think. She looks younger, though.
Yeah, I think she can play younger for sure.
And they've played with different versions of that, but that's how it was originally. She emerged as a 16-year-old who'd actually been like his babysitter. So
she's 23 in real life. Yeah. She's 23.
Oh, okay. Did anyone have anything else?
I was actually going to just say, big kind of an interesting news story today. Kind of, I guess, falls in the same vein as Barry's. Is there are images out that could possibly be Amelia Earhart's plane. Have either of you guys seen this?
No.
So they've got scanned images from the ocean floor within 100 miles of Howland Island, and by their measuring standards, it's very, very close to being the size of a Lockheed Electra. If you look at it, it's this jagged kind of heat signature thing that is definitely the shape of a plane, and they're saying that there were no other planes lost in that area that they, on record. So I don't think the outline looks like a Lockheed Electra, but I don't know that, I don't know how it's, it's kind of like a.
How deep is it? Did they say?
It's significant. I think it's 5,000 meters or something like that. Or, but anyways,
that's like
so they're talking about
almost
going back next year, and getting closer to it. And this was they scanned like thousands of miles with this drone, and that's what, like I said, they were what they found. But it's just really interesting because there's been a lot of attention to this in the last couple of years because they kind of ran out of options. But
that's a totally Lockheed Electra.
It's totally and
looks like
let's face it. If the plane's been at the bottom of the ocean all this time, it may not be in the perfect shape of an airplane anymore.
It's not going to be a perfect shape of an airplane.
Too.
I will say that the tail of a Lockheed Electra doesn't look like a whole lot of other planes, and in some of these images, it really does kind of look like that because it's got that long thing with the two uprights on either end of it. And
so, who's our co-pilot? The Horta,
Fred Noonan, and
no.
So, anyways, it's
who's those guys when they open the thing? It's the all the sparklies in there.
Okay. Anyways,
you know what I'm talking about, Star Trek.
This has always been something that's been fascinating to me, and
Tholians.
We will, we'll see. But like I said, there's been a million we think all these theories and stuff like that, but this is probably the closest in real terms they've ever found to finding it. And logically, if she ditched, that plane would be probably pretty much intact. If she ditched because she ran out of fuel, it would probably be pretty much intact.
Yeah, as long as the impact on the water surface.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
that's interesting. But, could we have technology to figure out stuff like that?
Yeah.
It is amazing that they can, even scan that from a drone.
Yeah.
And yet we're still missing an airliner. So, yep. The airliner that went missing, a few years back. I still don't know where that is. So.
They do, but they won't tell us.
It's lost.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire trailer came out today. I don't know if any of you guys saw that.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
I think it looks
There's
good.
A lot of nice throwbacks, but not like...
Yeah, and it looks like they're in it. When I say they, the original Ghostbusters look like they're definitely in this thing. And it comes out in March. I didn't realize it was coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. I watched it, and all I could think when Bill Murray shows up on screen, I was just like, man, he's getting old.
They all are, but it's just cool that they got the band back together. So
yeah.
And it looks like Slimer's back too.
Slimer's back. They got everybody. Even spoilers. They have what's her face, Annie Potts in a suited up.
Suited up. Yep.
Oh really?
Yeah. And even Bill Murray's like, what's her name? Melnick suited up.
And she even
we're
spoiling a trailer, so I don't feel like we're spoiling anything. But she even repeats the Ghostbusters "What do you want?" line in the trailer.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's definitely. I wonder if he's sort of the lead now. And I got to say that
he had a good line in the trailer too. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh,
when he's saying
when he's basically singing the
doing
theme
the
song. Yeah, he's basically singing
Yeah.
the theme song. He's like, "Bustin' makes me feel good" or something like that.
I got to say that McKenna Grace, who has got to be at least 2 or 3 years older, almost looks the same.
Yes.
The girl
well, the
who
other
was
thing too
great
is like
in that.
that's not what she looks like. I mean,
That's not what she looks like at all.
yeah,
Right.
So
But yeah, she's gets the Egon glasses in the hair, but she was really terrific in that.
And the kid from
I'm excited.
The kid, he's probably 25, but the guy from Stranger Things looks pretty much the same too.
yeah.
Yeah, he looks taller though.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to
excited
it.
to see
It's another one of those movies that it just kind of creeping up out of. Like I've obviously known that they produced it and been waiting for it to come out, but it just kind of like was flying under the radar until just like now the trailer's out. So.
yeah, with the strike, I wouldn't have thought it'd be out this quick. I mean, I'm surprised we're getting movies that like we're interested in. That were sort of delayed during the strike.
The question is, do I go see Dune Part 2 in a theater, or is Ghostbusters the next one I see in a theater? I don't know.
That was going to be a question that I totally forgot. I got something in my hair. Are you guys going to go see Dune in the theaters?
I feel like I need to rewatch Part 1.
I'm going to rewatch Part 1, but I will. I mean, I
don't think I'll see it in the theaters.
I think this is the best adaptation by far, and I did like the original book, and I've never really been fond of the other adaptations. I'm interested to see what they do with it. I mean, it's a very known story at this point, and it really comes down to how well they present it. And I think it's worth seeing on a big screen.
I thought the first one was fine. I mean, good enough. I don't think I gave it another thought a week later.
I did,
I
mean, I'm like Todd. I was a fan of the book when I was younger, and the other
I read the book.
adaptations.
Happy
I've
to see
listened
it
to
at
the
home.
book, and I think the other adaptations have never done it justice. And I think this comes pretty close. I think the characters are much more dead on to the characters they're representing. Like I said, I hope this is good.
I'm not bad mouthing, but I don't know if it's going to get me to the theater. I'm going to go see that Argyle movie. One, because I have not been to the movie theater in a long time, well before the holidays. I don't remember what the last thing I saw in the theater was. And I don't know what else. And that one looks good, and I'll go see it in the theater.
And it's got our friend Bryce Dallas Howard in it.
Bryce. And I like that Matt Vaughn guy.
Yeah.
I thought the first couple, at least the first Kingsman, I thought was really good.
Yeah,
Yes.
It definitely
Kingsman
has
was
that
great.
sensibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see it, and they do say there's going to be something you don't expect here.
There's all good people in it, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of good
I
people in it.
mean, so I'm going to go this weekend to see that, I think. You know what I'm also going to go see? Fanboy Collectibles, probably on the website, though. Check them out. Todd,
I'm going to need your help with this.
if anyone needs a
I'm gonna
38-inch
need your help
Daredevil
with this.
statue,
Seriously.
That is one
it's you.
badass looking Daredevil statue.
Oh my
That is
god!
an
This thing-
awesome-
So this is my favorite, bar none, Daredevil story.
So it's right out of Born Again, right?
Yep. And it's
It's like the cover.
it is the cover,
practically.
and it's oh my god, this thing is beautiful. I do not have room for this thing, and
It's more
big.
than 3 feet.
it's
It's the size.
God, just someone please buy this so I can just vicariously appreciate that. This thing
Maybe
is
they'll make a
beautiful.
scaled version of it, but I think you need this.
Oh, it is so beautiful.
Well, go ask Troy if you can go look at it when he gets it
close up
in.
of the face. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
And you see what's
glorious.
next to it on the website, Todd. The Omni-Man statue.
Omni-Man
Yeah,
statue.
it
Yes.
looks pretty sweet, too. I mean,
And Elvira
and
statue.
Elvira. Yeah, there's a lot of good
But
good
they
new
got
stuff.
statues are awesome. People, they got tons of statues. They got Hot Toys. They got Pops. They got Sideshow. They got Hasbro. They got Kotobukias.
And
all
if
the stuff
you're
you
not
need.
into this stuff at all, but you like professional wrestling, they got a Chris Jericho statue.
Wrestling, yeah,
And
we don't talk
everything.
about wrestling a lot. They got plenty of that stuff. But check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the regular Joe sent you. And if you're buying the Daredevil statue, reach out. We'll give you a patch or a hat so Todd can look at it.
yeah, that's right.
Did you guys see the Chuck Norris figure that they've got on the site?
I think I saw it last week,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that looks pretty interesting too. A lot of good cool stuff.
And we need a John Saxon figure.
We do.
We gotta get a head sculpt, and we gotta make our own John Saxon figures. So we'll work on that. Okay.
At this point,
we're
out of the commercial now, right? So at this point,
Yes.
with all these companies making unlicensed figures, how hard would it be to get somebody to make us a John Saxon figure? I mean, it doesn't even seem like out of the realm of possibility to get it made at this point.
I would like someone to make it, and we sell it as an exclusive ourselves or through Fanboy Collectibles. And I know 4 people who will buy it.
That's right.
And 2 of them are on this podcast right now.
Who's on here right now?
If we made an exclusive figure, I'd buy one too because it would be associated with our show. But
Of course you would.
Well, the thing is,
I think Jim Bush
in
would
the
buy
old
one.
days, why does he like John Saxon?
he likes odd things from the 70s, so I think he would.
He
like
does.
it.
He does.
He does. I'm sure Jim Bush. Let us know if you like John Saxon. We know you do. But I like Todd and I was thinking the exact same thing. We were going back and forth today about having someone is putting out a John Saxon or a Maskatron figure that looks awful.
Yeah, awful.
And-
Utterly terrible.
And we were saying we should have a John Saxon figure, and it would have two costumes. And Todd texted it as Enter the Dragon and Planet Earth. But 10 years ago, we knew people who could whip those up in a weekend.
Yes.
But I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah.
You don't think Skip and Robin are making G.I. Joe size costumes
I don't
anymore?
think so. I don't think so.
No,
but
I
boy,
don't
she
think
could
so.
tell you. She could make an awesome Planet Earth outfit. I bet she could.
Oh, my God, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you should reach
I
out
don't know
and
if I
see.
could do that.
I'll tell you, back when we were doing Aesop, okay, we gave them the oddest requests, and they never play. We need a body bag. We need a 1/6 scale body bag. Boom. It knocked it right out. And it was like, perfect.
And then all the things for regular Joes.
Yep.
Pajamas, slippers, tighty-whitey underwear, sweatshirts,
Yep.
all kinds of crazy
yeah.
stuff.
No, they're fantastic.
But I would love to have a Planet Earth. The rest is easy.
Yep.
We got to figure it out. That will be a project we'll work on. We'll figure it out somewhere. So we'll have to do. Can you get your kids in some kind of one of your classes to start modeling a head sculpt for us?
I thought you were going to say
Actually, you know
sweatshop
what?
and have them sewing clothes.
No, seriously. Cameron, who graduated last year, could totally do that, and he made maquettes of different teachers and stuff by scanning them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, I would have no idea how to do that, but that would be cool. And then we'll just resin print it, and then we'll make them.
And then Barry will paint
Anyway, that's a project we'll.
okay.
All right, let's talk the Marvels. So it's been out a while. It's on all the
It's on
streaming
demand now.
services
I think it's
to
hitting
buy
Disney
on demand.
Plus
That's
soon,
the
yeah.
word. Disney Plus next week. I think February 7th. I'm not sure if that's exactly right. But Todd had seen it in the theaters, and Barry and I just watched it. It definitely didn't get its due. People were saying, "Oh, it sucks." They were saying it sucked because it did bad box office, and so it did bad box office because people said it sucks. And
2 weeks before this movie came out, it was predicted to be the lowest grossing Marvel movie ever, and shockingly, it became the lowest grossing Marvel movie.
But
ever.
like you hear, it's not going to do good box office, so you don't go see it. I mean,
guess that does affect
I'm
some
one of those
people.
but that's
Yeah.
that's not why I didn't go see it. It
No.
just was a crazy.
It was
time.
a hard time for me to get out and see it because of everything that was going on. I wanted to see it, but
Yeah,
I don't. Box office shouldn't be. But I guess
it's the
people,
box office, but it's also buzz. And this movie is a 5.6 on IMDb,
that's
6.2 on Rotten, 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 50% on Metacritic. That is not the film that I saw. It just is not.
Okay, I don't think it's the Winter Soldier.
It's not an 8 or a
it's
9,
also
but it's not a 5.
the Thor.
No.
It's not Thor. Whatever, Love and Thunder.
I wonder if part of the challenge with it is that if you didn't see the Ms. Marvel TV show, it made a little less sense to you.
I agree with that. Now, Pam and I watched it, and she didn't watch Ms. Marvel. I felt the need to sort of fill in some holes, but it's hard. It's so hard to say having seen it, but you could be a little lost because not that they don't. They give you a little exposition on Ms. Marvel, but
But some of even
there's
some,
a lot
some
of baggage
the,
there with
some of the stylization in the movie felt very Miss Marvel to me. Like even in the beginning with the animation and all that, like that the tone of it was so much Ms. Marvel, which I liked, and I liked that show. But if I had never seen it or didn't know who Kamala Khan was, I might be scratching my head. And then if I hadn't seen the
Scarlet Witch and Vision show,
if I hadn't seen WandaVision, I do, and this was my argument about Ahsoka. Like you almost need to do homework going into it, where some of the best movies you haven't had to do that.
I guess I could see that to some degree.
I didn't remember the what's her face, Rambo, whatever her name is. I mean, when was Ms. Marvel? 3 years ago? I mean, not Ms. Marvel.
2 years ago.
WandaVision was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember she was in it. I honestly didn't remember her getting powers and stuff.
Yeah, it was
and
towards the end.
we seen her since? Has she been in anything?
No.
I mean, that's a tough ask for you to pull in not only a recent show, but a 3-year-old show character. And I was like, she has powers? Where'd she get powers from? I don't even remember that. So
it was when Wanda built the wall around the town, and she actually breached the wall that she got powers. I remember
which was a little thin.
But if I hadn't seen this movie and you said to me, "Hey, what happened with that character?" I'm not sure I would have remembered.
Yeah, I would have liked a little better setups because you can't. I mean, I think that's again, aside from all the box office bullshit, you can't have a major motion picture with major characters that don't get a good enough character backstory or
if their introduction
something.
is purely on a Disney Plus TV show.
Okay, that is
alienating some of the
TV versus it's the you have a subscription versus you're buying a movie ticket, and that's where the split is because people didn't walk into Endgame and be like they're not explaining who all these people are. There's 10
years of explanation for that.
But I'm saying there is a shift from a streaming service platform to a movie in a theater, and not everybody's going to come in with having done, as you said, having done their homework. And
and the same
and that's the
same problem.
I will tell you though that does not seem to be the principal criticism of this movie. Is like people just didn't like it. They didn't like the plot. They thought it took too long to get in certain things. They dwelled on certain things too much.
It was a little thin. The whole plot.
This is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's what this is. Okay, and I mean it's not a game changing movie. It's a character piece, and that's what it is. And it's a character piece about relationships. Totally what it is.
This probably should have been on Disney Plus,
which is exactly what Guardians 2 was. So
I don't feel like it was a $200 million movie. I mean,
I don't look at anything anymore and see after Godzilla -1. I don't look at anything anymore and understand how they spent as much money as they did. But I will agree with you on this.
I'm saying it was.
I'll agree with that.
I don't know that, and I'm paying my $15 or whatever. You can give me a $10 million movie. You can give you $1 billion movie. I'm paying the same thing. I've always, that's always way back to the old days of these Heaven's Gate and Ishtar, if you remember that.
Sure.
We're like, Ishtar, $50 million. I'm paying $5 to go see it. I don't care if it's on the screen or not. That doesn't matter to me. But it was
I didn't think any of it looked bad, so I don't think that it seemed like they didn't spend enough money.
I don't think
it just wasn't a big enough.
I don't think they.
I want to see a spectacle when I go to the movie theaters these days. It was fine for home consumption. I mean,
yeah, I think this would have been very ambitious to make it for Disney Plus. I'll tell you, I like the characters, and I like the character development through this. I like that they did with all the characters. Honestly, I would have had no clue who her family was and any of that stuff if I hadn't watched the Ms. Marvel
or who
TV
she
series.
was, or why she had powers, or why she had the bracelets, or any of that.
That part of it would have made no sense to me whatsoever.
And a big plot point through the movie was those gauntlets. So,
it was weird that this is Nick Fury post Secret Wars. Because it's like Nick Fury just completely changed gears, and now it's like this again. He's doing light stuff
Not
again.
Secret Wars. You meant Infinity War.
Sorry. And
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, right.
And then...
I mean, Nick Fury was... I liked him in this.
That's what I'm saying. He's back to being...
It was horrible in Secret Invasion.
Well, and I think that the bottom line was I got out of the trailers that I thought it was going to be fun, and it was fun. So I was happy about that.
It was fun.
Right.
I liked the characters. I did not like the singing planet at all. I thought that was really dumb, personally.
I thought that was fine. It
was not long enough that it.
That's
really,
no,
it didn't. It certainly didn't ruin the movie. But I was kind of like, Captain Marvel wouldn't do this, and none of this makes sense to me.
Well,
but okay,
you don't go to every planet with her. You don't know that.
I guess.
I would say her character from day one has been very flat, and for certain reasons, and they finally spelled out those reasons, and I thought that was good. I mean,
you definitely got a character arc for her.
You got a character arc for her, and you understood why she is so distant from everyone else. Okay, the fact that basically the first time she used her powers, she utterly doomed the planet, and she was carrying around that baggage was, I mean, that made a whole lot of sense. She was, like I said, she is more powerful than pretty much any other character there, and she's already made a mistake, and she came out of the chute making a very bad mistake. So it's,
which is very likely what would happen to somebody with that much power that doesn't know how to wield it.
Hell yes. I mean,
look at Spider-Man. It was the same thing with those.
And that, like I said, I thought that worked. I also thought bringing the younger character humanized everybody a little bit, and I love the hero worship aspect of that. But she was also very much who that character was. They didn't change her radically. I thought the cat scene the Flurkin scene was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a Marvel movie.
I got to say, the Flurkins added a whole extra.
But I think one of the biggest things it had going against it is that when we've seen these team up movies before, it's usually with characters that everybody is very familiar with going in, and 2 out of the 3 characters here, I would imagine a lot of the potential audience had no idea who they were and was just looking. And I
will say this
is not going to go.
Is all women was a really risky move, given what their demographic is, and they're trying to go for a younger demographic. They're trying to bring other fans in and stuff like this, but this is still, a large chunk of their audience is never going to be able to identify with this film.
All right, but any red-blooded male who doesn't want to see this movie purely for Brie Larson,
it's a different kind of thing. Mind. It's you had a prom date, Barry. A lot of these people didn't. I like it. I
like it. I don't think it was great.
And that's just it.
I didn't need it to be. It was just fun. That's all I needed.
And I didn't need it to be.
That's been my thing with this right along the line. And I've read a number of articles about this that have said, that reviewers that have said, I don't feel like I saw the same movie these other people are talking about. But I think it's very easy to go in with a preconceived notion and just shred this thing. But if you go in either optimistic or with somewhat open mind, I think there's a lot of cool stuff here. And it's a worthwhile experience. There are certainly far worse Marvel movies. And
there's
the
also
last 2 before this.
There's a hate cult around Brie Larson on the internet. People just love to trash her and everything.
Is that true?
Does.
What's the hate about her?
I don't get it. I like her, actually. I think she's a good actress. I think she's been good in everything I've ever seen her in.
Yeah. She's been good in those Nissan commercials.
I just think that she's one of the people that the internet targets and trashes.
And again, is this the kind of thing where stupid man boys don't like that she's the most powerful Avenger?
And there's guys who'll never get past that, and it's that's
just stupid.
It is stupid.
So remember that. But core of superheroes is like male power fantasy, and it's why female-led books don't sell. and never have sold anywhere near approaching what a Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or anything like that is. And it translates to the same thing in the movies. It's how you identify and who you identify with. And this character, and I will say this is what they've done wrong with her from day one, is they've made her very hard to identify with. And also very hard to just kind of like pigeonhole as it's kind of like, bitchy woman hero. And in this, they took her out of that shell, and you explained, why she had this, why she was putting up this facade and why she was distancing everybody. But if you weren't willing to see that, you didn't see it. So
I thought she was good in all the incarnations.
Oh, I think so too.
Captain Marvel, I feel like it's one of those movies that gets a little better every time you see it, too.
Yeah.
And even in the team-up movies that she showed up in, like, she's powerful, but she also has moments like with Peter Parker or with other characters where she is friendly and she's not bitchy, So, I mean, I think that I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, my complaints are different than everybody else. I mean, it's just like what we talked about. It's just these characters that you really needed some backstory on, and if you didn't know it, you're lost.
Yeah.
And the Monica Rambeau, I still don't even know what her powers are. Something to do with light.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I know the scenes where they were switching I thought were really funny.
I thought that was funny,
hilarious. Yeah.
I thought that was very clever, and it was an interesting play on the nega bands, which, were Rick Jones and the original Captain Marvel. Again, like I said, just kind of clever use of Marvel lore. There's like I said, there's a lot of good stuff in it, and I loved how they learned to fight using that. The jump rope scene was funny, and again, I think a lot of this was geared more for a female audience that this just never approached this film. So,
it's definitely better than the last Ant-Man movie. It's better than the last Thor movie.
Yeah.
Well, and I think if Disney has learned anything from this and from Ahsoka, you can't give people too much homework going into a project because Ahsoka should have been more accessible too. And I know a lot of people liked it, and I liked it, but it was way more tied to Rebels and Clone Wars than I ever expected it to be.
In this one, honestly, they could have taken like 3 minutes and give you a little backstory somehow. I mean, there could have been a creative way to give you a backstory on these two characters.
You take Nick Fury and you put him in a room with a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and say, okay.
A briefing, yeah.
Just try to keep up with me.
Exactly. There you
try
go.
to keep up with me. This is, wait a minute. That one's not Captain Marvel? No. That's Ms. Marvel. And this one's Captain, you could have made it funny.
Yeah.
And
they totally could have done that. Totally. So, all right. What does everyone give? Give it a number. Todd has to go first.
I'm gonna go 7.
Oh, okay.
I'd give it a 6.5.
I give it 6.5 for a 7. 6.5. Add the Flurkins, a 7.
Yeah, I gotta say that the using the theme from Cats for the Flurkins montage, was effing brilliant. Okay, it just it took this cheesy, just ridiculous Broadway theme and superimposed it with all these cats chasing down these terrified people, swallowing them. It was fantastic. One of the funniest things in all the Marvel films. So.
Yeah, and again, from the very first teaser, I went into this going, this isn't going to be super serious, it's going to be fun, and that's exactly what I thought it was. So,
but you say that, Barry, they pitched it like 4 different ways, and they
started out pitching it as a comedy, and then they changed it.
And they should have kept it that way, because I think they created expectations that weren't that just I think they looked at the success of Guardians and said, oh, we got to go serious. We got to show
that very first teaser where you had Kamala in the spacesuit flying towards Nick Fury's window. I'm like, this is going to be a fun movie. Yeah,
that was the tone of the movie. Yep. So, anyways, if you haven't seen it, check it out. We really haven't spoiled all of it.
Yeah, it's worth seeing. What did I give Captain Marvel? I'm looking at my list.
You were low on Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel 8.5.
You would. That's not in the beginning though. You brought it up.
No, I'm saying this is the last time we did this.
Yeah.
What else is a 7? Shang-Chi?
Yeah, it's
to me. I'm just saying.
Have you ever gone back and rewatched Shang-Chi? I've watched it once. I've never revisited it.
I don't think I've ever watched it again.
I was watching one of the What Ifs this weekend that ties into that. And I was thinking exactly that. I've never gone back and rewatched that.
So
I
anyway,
love it. So
have you guys watched the second season of What If?
no, I didn't watch the first season.
Okay.
I think I watched 2 episodes of the first season.
They're good, but boy, some of those are just like more like why would you than what if.
I'm having a hard enough time with the Marvel Universe right now. I don't really feel like diving into the what ifs.
I would just say they could make all the episodes about Captain Carter they want. I would see all of them. But there's at least 2 this season. So, yeah, some of the other stuff I don't quite get. So,
if you don't get it, there's no way I'm getting it.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. That's it. Wait. Spoilers. What happens at the end? Did we see Beast at the end of this?
Yes,
No.
the X-Men.
Well, two things. There's 2 posts, and so
There's 2. There's only
There's
one.
only one.
There's only one. I looked it up when I was watching it.
there was
And I don't
absolutely
remember
2.
what they are.
You did not see.
What are they?
You did not see Camilla Khan. You did not see that.
No.
I don't know what you're saying. Tell me. Spoil it for me.
Okay, she basically mimics the Nick Fury scene from the end of Iron Man. You did,
Oh, yeah. That wasn't even at the end.
Yeah, that was right at the end of the movie, though. That wasn't a post-credit thing.
Oh, I thought that was the first post-credit
No.
and the other one
So
was...
she goes to spoilers. She goes to see Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, I thought that was a
Yeah.
post-credit. Okay.
No.
Which was
I've
awesome. That
seen
was
it
awesome.
further back than you guys did. So, yeah.
So they're going to do the Young Avengers.
And they should. They should. Let them take their time.
I love how she's like, I'm 23.
I'm 23. Yeah, it's like,
I like that character a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I definitely hope
Me
we
too.
see
Oh,
more of
I
her.
think so too, and I also think, I think they should
I
go
just,
that way
you
a
know,
little bit.
if it's just the 2 of them, I'm okay with it. I still don't.
No, you're going to have
understand the
you
Iron
got
Heart
another
stuff.
Black Widow. You got
Echo. We have Echo.
keep going, move on.
Okay. Anyway, so then, where does the Beast come into this? I don't even remember.
So we see an alternate reality where apparently Kelsey Grammer is still the Beast. So
Why was it an alternate reality?
because she went through to another universe.
Oh! It was the Monica Rambeau
Yeah.
thing. Yes, and we see her mother. Like, how stupid is that?
But we've also
that was
already
weird.
seen her mother as Captain Marvel in Doctor Strange.
We did. Oh.
Yeah, in Doctor Strange,
But
her mother
it's a
was the
little like-
alternate Captain Marvel.
All right, you're going back. You're going into the alternate universe, and
Okay.
of 2 people, one happens to be your mother. Like, seriously?
Well, I mean, there's no coincidence. Everything, the universe pushes everything together. It's like
And that's a Marvel character. I mean, an X-Men character, whoever she was.
no Marvel character, but not really connected to the X-Men. So
All right, I was
Maria's
glad
the
to
older
see
one.
Kelsey
Maria
Grammer.
is the older one. Monica's the daughter, right?
Monica's the daughter.
Monica's okay. So Monica is made up for the Captain Marvel movies. Maria Rambeau was the character in the comics, and she was Captain Marvel at one point, and so
Who cares?
That's a
It's on
long-standing
paper.
character.
Doesn't
It was
matter.
nice to see Kelsey Grammer back as Beast. I have no expectation that we're ever going to see him back as Beast in a movie. So
yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with that. I'm more interested for the other plot line. I'm more interested to see, like I said, them.
Yes, the Young
Yep,
Avengers
yep.
or whatever.
So-
Okay, cool. Masters of Air, right?
Yes.
yes,
Hold on. I'm gonna.
oh, Dave's putting on.
I've had this coat for 25 years. I might as well wear it.
Okay. So, Dave, turn your temperature down to
Yeah.
50 below zero.
Minus 50. Let me tell you something. I've had this coat for 25. I'm wearing a B3 shearling bomber jacket that I've had for 25 years. It's so uncomfortable to wear, and you can't even move in it.
Well,
the
you
idea
don't have a
is that
lot
it
of room to move in a B-17.
Yeah, the idea is that it keeps you warm and from freezing, not so much that it's
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
I've had this. Look how big this collar
Yeah,
looks.
that's crazy.
I've had this in my closet. I actually took it out a couple
It
days
still
ago.
fits you. That's impressive.
Dave, you need
had it
to
25
wear
years.
that while watching the show. Like football people put their jerseys on. You need to put that on and sit there watching that. I want a picture of that.
It actually made me want to dig out my B-17 pilot and B-17 bomber crew member from the G.I. Joe Collectors Club.
Actually, with your headset, Dave, that looks great. Sit down. No, keep it on. I want to take a screenshot here.
Okay. It's not doing it justice. It looks bigger than it actually is. Anyway, I don't know why I had to have one of these.
This is riveting podcasting right now, but okay.
It is, yeah.
It's okay.
Work it, Dave. We're doing a photo shoot.
I just have my hat with the little... They're all on the side.
Okay.
Is that good?
Okay.
So Dave is cosplaying a World War II era B-17 crewman because...
I need one of those weird little mustaches.
Because we're talking about Masters of the Air.
So did everyone watch one or two?
I only got
watched
the
both.
first one so far.
It's okay. Spoiler for episode 2. They fly, they drop bombs, and they get the shit shot out of them. Okay.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
you can't really spoil this for me.
I was going to say, it's like, yeah, really, it's World War II.
We won the war.
The B-17 is my all-time favorite plane, so I loved seeing them in action.
There is one isn't there one at the Aerodrome in Rhinebeck?
No.
I think...
No.
They have brought them to the air shows here in Long Island a few times. I've actually gone inside of them.
We saw one. I think there may be one in Rhinebeck.
They do an air show
We'll
every year in Long Island here at the Air Power Museum, and they've brought the B-17s, and you can actually go inside, and I've walked through the whole bomb.
I want to do that. I want to do that
It's-
at some point. I've been in a
awesome.
B-29. I've never been, and I've been in a Mitchell, and I've been in a few other
I'll
things
find
I've
out if
never
they're
been
doing it again this summer, Todd. If they are,
They always have. There's one here too. There's one. Is there here?
They also you can actually
Orange
pay
County.
to go up in them too. They usually do that too.
Yeah.
So I would do that if you guys wanted to.
Oh, yeah. You realize there's 5 of these that fly right now in the world. There's 19 of these planes still in existence and 5 that are certified to fly. 1 crashed. One is now off the board. That's of almost 13,000 made. That's amazing.
It's amazing when you see the scenes in this show how many of them were on a single mission.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. But that was also the thing it was safety in numbers. I mean, you have 12 guns on each of those planes, and the planes that suffered the most damage were the planes that got separated. If you got separated, the fighters would move in on you like a swarm of insects. But if you were part of that group, it was very, very hard for the fighters to get in close enough to take them out because again, you have 12 guns and it was an amazing platform. It really was. It's just, and you think it's just to talk about the plane before we get into the show. They made 13,000 of these, almost 13. I think it was like 12,500, 12,700 of these, and almost lost 5,000 of them. So
I would have thought more.
Yeah, no.
That was just,
I mean, it's
but they would get shot up like Swiss cheese. They'd land
and
them, and then they'd
still
patch them back
flew
together.
because they were more electronics than hydraulics. And that was the smart move with these things, was doing the electronics that survived could suffer a lot more damage and had redundant systems, whereas hydraulics, you disable the whole plane. And just an amazing design. They cranked out one of these a day, during the war. It's just like it from at a plant.
Crazy.
And
12,731 they built.
Yeah. But they could push out a complete one of these start to finish in a day. And it's just absolutely, utterly amazing piece of machinery. And yeah. So
anyway,
yeah.
So the show comes from Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, who did Band of Brothers and The Pacific. Band of Brothers, one of the best TV shows ever produced, in my opinion.
Yep,
Pacific
absolutely.
wasn't that great.
Pacific was okay. It didn't stand up to Band of
It
Brothers.
wasn't.
it didn't
That was
click the
lightning
same
in a
way.
bottle.
Yeah.
That Band of Brothers. all right, it's not spoilers, but the plane stuff and the mission stuff was edge of your seat riveting, because what they had to do with, and they really portrayed it to, the characters, because, we do see some of them go up on their first mission, and, everyone's at the end of it, like, no one told me what this was like.
Yeah, well,
and
he actually says to his friend, like, why didn't you tell me? Like,
why didn't you tell me?
His friend was kind of like downplaying it, and he's like, because I couldn't, how do you describe it, right?
Yeah. But that stuff was great. The bombs and the flak and all that stuff. I thought the off-mission stuff could have been a little tighter. Maybe it gets better.
This is what this is. It's like, because it's historical, it's a bunch of downtime and then moments of extreme stress and terror, and then a whole bunch of downtime.
Yeah.
This is the
and
challenge.
I'm not saying
but I'm saying this is the challenge to doing this. Is unlike, Band of Brothers, where they went from one battle to another.
Yeah.
No one of these planes flew more than 25 missions. So, there's going to be a lot of gap time in between.
Yeah. But here, my criticism of the gap time, it's not even of the gap time. I really felt Band of Brothers really developed specific characters. I don't think I've seen it in maybe 3 or 4 years, but I can still picture in my head almost every one of the main characters.
Oh yeah, no, it's
in this. I don't see that yet, and my stupid complaint is a lot of them look the same. A lot of them are dudes with brown hair, a mustache, and this coat.
Yeah.
And
I'm not defining them the where you could in the other one.
And Austin Butler just to me stands out as Elvis, and that's my own thing. But like
Elvis, and then his best friend. I can't tell his best.
Okay, so you don't see like young Val Kilmer when you look at him, because that's what I see.
No, he does look like that, but
yeah.
Why is he related to him?
No, he just looks like that.
He looks like him.
Yeah.
The best friend in the white coat?
No, Austin Butler.
No, Austin Butler.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Austin Butler I get that Barry Kogue guy, wasn't he in the Eternals? Yep. And I get the friend, but I can't tell any of the rest of them
Well,
apart.
and I think you will. You now know them. Now know the ground crew guy. You now know the navigator guy, and Crosby.
But they all look really similar. Am I just an old guy?
Okay,
I look almost pictures, intended to.
I look at pictures of my uncle's squadron. Okay, now he's half a head taller than all them. The only reason he got to be a pilot was because he was a pilot before the war, because he was over 6 foot. And they just didn't take over 6 foot pilots. That's the only way you can pick him out of the picture. Every single one of these guys has the same haircut. Okay, they got the same jawline because, none of them were eating enough. And it was like, this is what this
I'm just
like.
saying, in Band of Brothers, they define those characters better from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? That's right. My complaint.
Because they didn't have to have hats on, goggles, and flying helmets on.
Well, that's why I think they should have done it even more so in the beginning.
Right.
They really spent a lot of time with Buck and Bucky.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to seen the full episode really kind of dig into who those characters are. I don't think they developed them.
I feel like they needed to get you into a plane and get you being shot at, because I think if they'd spent more time developing the characters, people would say it's too slow. And
I get that.
So,
but it is tough with like.
I agree with you.
They're wearing these coats. They're wearing goggles, and they're wearing the Snoopy hats. It's not easy to tell who's who. I mean, right now I know 3 people, and the ground crew guy. 3 pilots, and the ground. I wouldn't. You show me a picture of any of the other ones. I wouldn't
see the
know
navigator. I now can pick.
I don't know who that is yet.
Okay.
Guy with brown hair.
And he's shorter than everybody else. And, yeah.
No, the other guy, the guy who got lost in Scotland, is the short one.
No, the navigator's shorter than everybody else. But anyways, it's I
there was a lot of vomiting. If you don't like vomiting,
you don't like vomiting,
right?
really, it's a lot.
Let me tell you something. And Pam and I watched it, and she cannot stand vomiting. She's like, I can't watch this anymore. I don't think so. She didn't watch the second one, and then she texted me, "Is there more vomiting?" I'm like, "Yeah, the second one there was more vomiting."
Bizarrely, I think Karen looked away, and the guy was vomiting too. It's like,
well, and in the first episode, when the guy vomits and puts the bag down, and then he knocks the bag, and
Then
it splashes
smacks the
on the
bag.
other guy.
Well, the second episode, there's something even
even
I haven't
worse.
seen that one yet.
I won't spoil the vomiting for you. in that
I
one.
just, like I said, I think this is, I think it's done so extremely well. I know a lot about this stuff. I pick things apart. I mean, Memphis Belle was good, but Memphis Belle was so off on details, and I've always had a hard time with that movie because of that. This thing, they're hitting the right switches and the right levers, and everything is where it's supposed to be. And every person, what the 10 positions are on these planes, because they took you through what the 10 positions are. And, and you, without walking you through the plane and pointing to each of the individual things.
No, they did do a good
I
job.
think
That's
they
what
did
I'm saying.
a
The
great
plane
job.
stuff, you really knew what everybody did. You got to see the guy in the turret, the gunners, you really got, and how they commit all. I just want a little more character identification off the bat.
Yeah.
Other than, I'm enjoying it a
Yeah.
lot.
And I would say, you don't want to get attached to too much to anybody, because it's.
Well, that's the thing. That's what makes it even better. You want to get sucked into these people, whether they don't make it or they do make it.
Yeah, I mean, that helps build the tension and the drama, for sure.
It's funny, and I did read an article today. It just came up in some Hollywood Reporter feed about the coats, and I guess those are real people,
Right?
The two best friends, the Buck and Bucky
Yep.
guys. He did pick a white coat that was not a coat that was supposed to be made for flyer. It was a prototype, and he's like, "It's white, it looks different than everybody. I'm taking it."
Interesting.
Which is interesting. Yeah.
I like I said, I think it's great. I think it needs it's. I think this does a really good job of kind of conveying that era and who these people were, and we're getting further and further away from this time, but this is the most successful bombing campaign in the history of the world, and we're now 70 years removed from that. No one has ever had a bombing campaign. And since then, we've got laser guided bombs, we've got satellites, we got all this kind of stuff, and none of them have had the effectiveness. No campaign we've run has been effective as the Army Air Corps campaign in Europe, for a number of reasons. But one of them was like pure audacity. We don't go on missions now where there's that much risk of not coming back, and this was the thing.
And just the sheer number of planes that were going
well,
off.
These guys went out.
I was just saying, in the first episode, you got the sense that, I think that the emotion of going on the mission, losing friends, and not even getting to drop your bombs, like the mission was a waste of time.
Yeah,
and
it's
they still
absolute
lost
waste of
people.
time.
Like, you really got the sense of the emotion that those guys felt for that, which I like I said, I've only seen the first episode, but I definitely plan to go back and watch the rest of it.
Yeah, no, I said, I think it's great, and I think it's. I'm hoping that, like Band of Brothers, and not so much like the Pacific, this is going to be a thing that stands and just kind of encapsulates this era, because it's like I said, it's just an amazing, phenomenal accomplishment, and that really, really led to the end of that war. And
there's been a lot done about the ground troops, but there hasn't been that much done about the pilots.
Exactly,
So.
and it was this air campaign that totally crippled Germany's ability to manufacture weapons, to resupply, to move weapons around, to launch submarines. All of these things happened because of this air campaign, and it was just, like I said, an extraordinarily audacious endeavor, but it came with a tremendous loss of lives, and to see that, like I said, these guys flying through that flak and it just tearing them to pieces.
Yeah,
it's just incredible. So
and a lot of other movies have talked about it and explained it and not shown it very well. This is, you feel like you're in it.
I really would like to see a behind the scenes thing. I'm sure, obviously there's it's all CG. Maybe some of it's not. I don't know.
They use the volume for this, and
oh, interesting.
And so, there's parts of the plane that are physical and parts of the plane that are not. It's again, just like I said, just absolutely amazing. And you look at stuff and it just seems so crude. That's
what I was thinking. It's like, Jesus, these planes, it's just like these switches, and it's such old technology, and look what they had to do with it.
Existed 20 years before that. That's what I'm saying. It's amazing what that we put these designs into operation, and they were successful as they were, and just absolutely amazing. And again, they called this thing the Flying Fortress, and it really was. It was a gun platform with a lot of bombs, and we've never seen anything where a guy went down into the bomb bay before and pulled the fuses on all the bombs. I mean, that's 100% the way this happened. But, it's, like I said, this is the most accurate depiction of the air campaign that I think has ever been done. And they have the time to do it. So 9 episodes total, I guess. So
yeah. Cool. Check it out. So watch it if you haven't watched it. Okay, let's go. What's in the box?
Show you in the box. What was in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Barry, what's in the box?
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay. You guys know me real well. You know that there's a couple things that I'm a sucker for. One of them is limited editions. One of them is things that are signed.
Director's cuts.
By people. Director's cuts, too. One of the things that are signed by people I like. Just before Christmas, Alex Lifeson from Rush, which is also another thing that I can't say no to, released a distortion pedal. And I remember it coming out. I knew about it coming out, and I said, well, I don't really need another distortion pedal. So I passed on it an initial release. And then I found out that they were only making 500 of them. And that made me go, I really should probably get one of those before they sell out. And then I found out each one was coming with a signed backstage pass. So I immediately jumped in and bought one. And I'm glad I did, because I got number 450-something or 470-something out of... 469 out of 500. So they were selling them in order. So it's called the Lurkst Bytor pedal by Alex Lifeson.
Oh, very cool.
Lurkst is Alex Lifeson's nickname within Rush. The three guys all had nicknames for each other, and Alex was Lurkst. And it's Bytor based on their song Bytor and the Snow Dog. And the distortion pedal has a monster creature face on it. And the two LEDs for when you engage the pedals light up red, so it looks like the eyes.
That's cool.
And it came with a signed Alex Lifeson backstage pass, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
I have not plugged this in and used it yet, because literally since Christmas, my office has been full of stuff that we moved around. And this weekend, I cleared my office out, got it back to an office, and was ready to plug this thing in and play it, and I got derailed. So I haven't had a chance to do it yet. But this week, for sure, I am going to use it. So I can't say that I love it for what it sounds like yet, because I haven't played through it. But I love it for what it looks like, and I love it for what it is. And I'm glad I got one before they sold out. So, which they did sell out very shortly after I bought mine. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
And now he's got a guitar coming out.
He does have a new guitar coming out, which I am making a stand right now. I'm not buying it.
Because it's like his own design, and right?
It's based on a guitar that he played in the 80s, but it's not like an exact replica of it. And it's also not the guitar that I think of when I think of Alex Lifeson.
White.
It's a white Stratocaster
right?
style guitar.
Yeah, but you think of him playing a white Les Paul.
I think of him playing either a white ES335 or a Les Paul. And it's $4,000. So
I heard it was more than that. So
no, it's $4,000, but I think they said the first 50 will be signed, and then maybe those will be more money. But he's got an amp that came out too. Like I'm not like so crazy that I buy literally everything that has his name on it, but this was probably about $100 more than the distortion pedal should be, but it came with an autograph, so I was okay with it.
there you go.
All right, Todd, what's in the box?
Okay. So I purchased 4 images from a Warner Brothers press kit from an obscure 1970s TV pilot. So this is the first one.
Ah,
Okay.
Planet Earth.
Planet
John
Earth,
Saxon.
John Saxon. And we got a shot of Lurch there. Okay.
The
And we got
Savage.
the Savage team photo.
Nice.
And then
Oh, that's a great
cool
action shot.
picture.
John Saxon running away.
Are those like press
These are
release
press
photos?
kit photos.
Originals?
Yes. And so you get these two. You get John Saxon and then Lurch. And I'm going to keep these other two and frame them and hang them up next to
Oh, nice.
So
Those are awesome.
yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. So
Yeah. You got those on eBay?
I
or-
found them on eBay. I've been looking for a autographed photo by Janet Margolin that doesn't look like a love story kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know, and I'd be happy with even a nice headshot that doesn't say to Harvey. Who the hell was Harvey? Harvey had Harvey has like 12 pictures of Janet Margolin for sale.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, but anyways, I
Some of
stumbled
those-
across this, and I thought you'd like this because this is that's like the DVD cover. It's kind of the iconic thing, and so I thought that'd look cool. So
Was there a poster? I mean, it's a TV series.
yeah,
It's a TV pilot.
The poster was made from was made to sell the DVDs, and the images on it don't even match up with the thing. So, but
the thing, if you do find something that says to somebody that's cheap enough, there's definitely ways to take inscriptions off.
yeah.
So,
I got to
there's-
find the picture that I want. If it, like I said, if it was
Yeah,
a
but-
nondescript headshot, but I've seen again, it's like I said, they're not. Well, I'll find something. I want to
Did
have
that
something
have
put
the
next
press
to
kit
this.
folder and the press materials, or just
No,
is
it was
the
just
photos?
4 photos. So, and the guy had a ton
they
of press
usually
kit
have
photos.
10. So it'd be interesting. So something like that floating around, but that's cool. Those are cool.
So,
Awesome.
Dave, what do you got?
All right, I have a device. This goes into the category of, I need that, when you really don't need it. So, I mean, do we need anything? So, and here's why I bought it. I'll tell you why I bought it first. So, I recently, when I was going through my Greg Jean collection, I sold a lot of pieces off, and I probably mailed at least 12 to 15 things. And I don't know how you guys print postage. Do you go on Click and Ship and do your own postage for the...
I use Pirate Ship now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Similar thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it's cheaper. It's actually, I think it's like the best rates you can get on Pirate Ship.
Oh, cool.
What is it? Is it like U.S. Post Office rates, or is it somebody else?
It's U.S. postage. Well, you can either pick UPS or U.S. postage, but it's always
I gotta try that. I haven't tried that.
discounted
I'll look
rate.
at that because I've got to send some things out.
And they've got a great
anyway.
interface on the website, by the way, so it's good.
I got to check that out. I use Click and Ship, which is fine, and I've sent stuff, a lot of it priority, like in priority, either envelopes or boxes, but printing the labels out either on a piece of paper, cutting them out, taping them on, and for a while back I bought the sticky labels, but I saw this on Amazon. It's a thermal printer that only prints labels. It was like $60. It was like,
And it comes with like the
30,
roll
40% off.
of like mailing labels.
And it prints almost, so it prints like, this is the 4x6, which is the post office labels.
Right.
It prints that. And then you could put other stuff in it too. So you can get all kinds of size labels that are anything smaller than this. So I also got these little address labels because, there's a handful of things I still have to mail that have addresses, but you can print them out in Illustrator and just print them.
Nice.
And then you can also buy colored labels that you could put on like products or little circles and stuff. So, and it's thermal, so it's all heat activated based on the paper and not ink. So
That's
I'm like,
very cool.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sick because I have the sticky labels, and then you'd peel them, have to cut them, and stick them. So why not spend money?
I always print them through Pirate Ship, and then I have to tape them down to the box. I use packing.
I
tape
do
to
the same
tape them
thing.
down to the
I do
box.
click and ship, and I have to do the same thing.
I'm
Click
sure
and
the
ship, you're paying full price postage, right?
No, you get
it's sometimes it's
slightly
discounted.
sometimes it's discounted. I just find
Pirate
I don't
Ship-
find the interface
If something
super
is
intuitive.
$12 to ship on post office, I pay like $9 through Pirate Ship.
Yeah, I got to do that. Click and ship is because I've done Windows side by
It's
side.
cheaper.
It is cheaper than the post office. It's not. That
And I'll
much
even
cheaper.
say, like, in-person price,
yes.
$10.
And
Click and
I've
ship,
not
$8.50
and I've
or
not
whatever.
trusted it at times. I've opened the other the post office window and compared, and the click and ship price that they quote you for the post office is accurate. So
I got to check out. Do you have to pay a subscription to this pirate ship thing?
No,
or
you
anything?
you pay as you go.
I got to check that out because, yeah, I thought this was cool, and it's just literally these sticky labels. You get 1,000 of them for
That's
$9, and there's a bunch of these. There's a ton. Anyone who has an Etsy store has this.
that's
and,
awesome.
So
I got to say,
I
Barry, Pirate Ship too, most brilliant name ever. I mean, that's
It's
just
the best
yeah.
name, yes.
yeah.
I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I
and it
haven't
keeps
done
a record of everything you've shipped. That way, if you're shipping to the same person, you can just pull it back up, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's click and ship,
Yeah,
is that, and
pretty
you have tracking info and stuff. But I wish I had this before I shipped out all that stuff.
would've
I only
made
just
it
got
easier.
it.
But you're
Yeah, 'cause
destined
that's-
to open an Etsy store, and when you do, then you'll have. This
I know. I am destined to open an Etsy store.
I have like orders waiting for your light when you get there because it's like people see that about 3 times a week and they're like, "Where'd you get that?" It's like,
Well, take names.
yeah.
I was hoping Adam would have featured it on his.
Yeah,
Features it on his channel.
if he does, you're gonna have orders coming out the woodwork.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought about that today. But then you do the math. It's like, okay, even if I make $20, I sell 1,000 of them, and I've only made $20,000.
Then you calculate the time involved in that, and yeah.
I've got it down. It's funny. I literally, I have everything in a little sorter box because I have it right now. I have enough pieces to make, except for the flexible arms. I have enough pieces to make like 50 of them. Because I just bought. I had to buy all the parts, so I have them all sorted. This is boring because no one even knows what we're talking about. But I even 3D designed and printed a special wrench to put. So you know how the clamp part.
Yeah.
There's a lock nut underneath, and it's really hard to hold that in place while you screw it down. So I designed a special wrench to hold that while you screw it in. So I could put one of those together in about a minute and a half once I have all the pieces. But anyway, so that's enough. We'll feature that on a future episode. Okay, so 2 thumbs up. See Captain Marvel. Watch Masters of Air on Apple Plus.
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
We didn't give 3 thumbs up for Captain Marvel.
I meant thumbs up for both things.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
6 thumbs up.
Okay.
Six thumbs
We have
up,
6
yeah.
thumbs up.
You
if
went from
wanna
2
go that
thumbs
way.
up to Captain Marvel. That's what I was like.
No.
Yeah.
Both items.
Whose vote doesn't
anyway. Yes. Next week, we don't know. Something.
I'm working on something.
I'm working on
We're working on something big. Big. All right. That's enough of
Top
us.
people.
Top men.
Yeah. Yes,
Top
big
men.
guests. Big guests.
Yeah. Big guests.
No whammies.
Okay.
I was on the other night when I was flipping the channels.
Jeez. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.